Yo, 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 we live in the back. We need
It's Wednesday, yo. You crazy.
you.
Yeah, we need to do a show about behind the scenes before we get on here
No, we don't.
to see
No,
how
we
crazy you
don't.
are. They probably like, why she always up here laughing and getting Quest? I'm like, because Quest crazy. In the background, she be acting nuts.
First of all, I'm not crazy. It's called
Mm-hmm.
being an entertainer.
That's true. That is
Called
true.
being an entertainer. So what up though? What it's Wednesday. It's your day,
Girl, everything is good. Well, everything is good because I
Everything.
have my health and my strength. I'm blessed. I woke up this morning. I just, ate my dinner. I'm good. But every like you said, every time it's hump week, I'm like, I gotta get over this hump because I'm tired.
Get over it, baby.
Today the kids gonna wake up extra early. Like, what the heck? I'm tired. Why are you up so freaking early? Driving me crazy.
It's just it's great to wake up early in the morning.
It is.
Then when you have so much stuff going on, it's like sometimes you just want to just lay in bed and just cuddle and sip some tea or read a book or just relax. But then you realize that when you're like Superwoman or Superman, depending on who's talking, it doesn't happen like that all the time.
Rarely happens. Rarely happens. And it was like, I was actually having a good sleep finally, and as soon as you get that good sleep, boom, somebody wake up. Like, what the heck? I just want my 10 extra minutes. Like, Jesus, 10 minutes,
You know what's so funny about that? I was thinking about that like earlier when I'm like, because I've been away for a few days, went on escape, and I was just like, when I got back, I was had so much to do. People think, well, you should get away, clear your mind. Yes, but you realize when you do so much on a regular, it's not like all that stuff is just automatically going to be done. You got to come back and do it.
It does not disappear because you went away. You still got to do it. It is what it is.
And then hear everyone, hey, how was your trip? Was it great? I'm like, can I finish it first? You know what I'm saying? Or hey, I need you to do this, that, and that. I'm like, okay, sure, not a problem, anytime. But now at the point, somebody hit me, I'm like, what do you want? What are you up to? The same thing I'm up to every day. Trying to get some work done, not be bothered. But you can't be a douche. You can't be a douche. But it's a lot when you are playing that role or multiple roles.
Exactly.
And you got to face regardless, even though you was like, just leave me alone. You can't do that. So, but it is what it is.
It is. It's reality. But we're still pushing. We got to get done. Like even right now, it's the first time we really spoke today. We've both been busy. Usually we talk multiple times in a day, but like we just been.
I know. I almost slid in. I did slide into your DM earlier when it came to that video of the kids with the Zoom and the crazy stuff that happens. Or like the weird part is you can't edit this stuff. Well, you can, but a lot of these Zooms that
people when they live because they record them. They're all recorded for children who can't get on or something like that and have to do the work. So they're all recorded so the parents can check it out again later. So if you're up there looking crazy, it's recorded and everybody can go right back and rewind, or it'll be on social media. Like you send it to me and the whole world sees your mama behind her boobs like, all this crazy stuff. So I'm very on it when it comes down to the Zooms. I know exactly where my kids are. I wake up early so everybody's prepared, that they know what the heck is going on. Like, you ain't gonna be catching me out here slipping. Not on somebody's Zoom. Nah, I'm good on that.
The part that threw me off in that particular Zoom of the kids, like, in so-called school, is someone was like laying down. Like, is that like
bad? No, not okay. Let me tell you, I saw that too. At first, I was like, "What's going? Is this like a prank?" And then I saw the parents are like, "Oh, this is a real clap." My teachers for my kids, they don't play that mess. Like some of them, like I see somebody in the background, they don't need to be here. I'm the teacher, and I appreciate that. I'm always in the next room listening because I have 2 children, so I'm like have them in each room, and I'm in the middle so I can see if somebody needs my help. But no, I don't be there. The kids have to be at a desk. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what school that was and who that teacher is, but I know at the school my children go to, they don't play that foolishness. You better not be in a bed. You better not be eating snacks. They treat it like you're really in a classroom. not that you're home and you're, you know what I'm saying? So they really are involved, and they be watching your back around. Excuse me, are you playing with a toy while we're in class right now? T-Quest, put that toy down. No, put it down. Is that a drink near your device? That's very dangerous. Do you read it? Is that a drink? No, because it could fall. Then what's going to happen to you? Remember, your parents signed an agreement. And I just be cracking up. These teachers are crazy, but I let them be, because at the end of the day, I tell my kids, you're technically at school. Your home book, when you're in your teacher, like my son, like, oh, Jay's not. All right. I'm like, listen, mind your business. Let the teacher handle it. If there's a problem, they have my email and they have my number. But while they're with their teachers, I want them to be with their teachers. Let them control. Because now if you let my son jump around acting crazy in the background, would you allow him to do the same at school?
Nope.
Exactly. So I expect them to do that. But they'll email, like, they'll definitely text me, like we were talking last week, guys, about my son. They will definitely let me know if he ain't doing what he got to do. So I'll be like, you're supposed to be live with teacher. No, I'm like, oh, this is the email from your teacher. You got to stay on top of it, because they think they're slick. Since we're talking about all this stuff, the Zooms and the parenting right now, it reminded me of a post I saw yesterday on social media. And I can't say it verbatim, but I could kind of give you the gist of what it was saying. He was asking parents, do you expose your kids to the struggle, or do you give them what they want? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you parent your kids nowadays?
Yeah.
And I was just like, you shouldn't expose anybody to the struggle. And he was like, no, I'm not just trying to say the struggle. But the more I was thinking about it overnight and stuff like that, because I replied back, I'm like, you shouldn't expose anybody to the struggle who don't need to be on the struggle. At the end of the day, that's not a pretty sight. Second of all, your kids should earn stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want anybody to feel entitled. And he's like, well, how do you give them certain what was his words? I don't remember. But I know my response was, I was like, listen, you can't expect a child to be, you can't expect a child to act hungry when he always had a full plate. They don't know what that feels like. So you're driving, you're hungry. You can't have somebody who can adapt to that. If you've never been starving, you don't know what it feels like. So you can't teach somebody what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing, like I was saying, the only thing you can do is teach them, morals and values. And even some of that, like, they don't always get. You can just keep on trying to portray what you want them to be. But they're visuals. You could put your kid in a scenario like, hey, look at these kids. You can go take them to the soup kitchen. But they're going to be like, that's not my life. I ain't going to be here. Let's just be honest. Have you met the kids in the 2000s? I'm going to be 100% with y'all. I could put comments, say what y'all want to say, but this is real life and real experience, even with my son. Oh, my God. My mom was like, he didn't get it yet. But, like, yeah, I was talking to him about something, maybe with school. And he was like, I'm like, if you did this in the real world, you will be fired. I said, you have no food, nowhere to live, and you ain't coming back to my house. Once you're grown, you're gone. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not going to be raising no grown boy. You know what he told me?
What?
I'm going to go to Jay's house. Jade is his baby sister. That's what he told me. Nah, Ma, I'm going to do what I got to do. But like, no, he's going to go to his sister's house because he knows she will let him in and take care of his little behind. I was like, and I told my daughter, I said, listen, see what you're creating here? Because she is a ride or die for her brother. More than he is. And I tell you, I'm like, you need to be a ride or die for your sister because she is a real ride or die. I said, and that shows you too the dynamics between male and female. They're young, you know what I'm saying? They're not teenagers. They're still, first grade and fourth grade. He's 9 years old. He just turned 9. So I was just like, really? Is that your response? I don't care if I take him to the soup kitchen. I don't care if I, this from Experience Quest, take them, show them pictures of like kids who, hungry, people in the neighborhood. In his mind, that ain't my life. Like, I ain't gonna be like that because I got my mom and my dad. They ain't gonna never let me, and it's true. I'm not gonna let him ever be hungry. And he's very picky too. I'm like, well, if you ain't gonna eat dinner, you ain't gonna eat. Well, I ain't gonna eat tonight. I'll drink water. If you don't, that's his personality. So these things we want to, and I was talking to my mother earlier about this because she was just talking about him in general. I said, some of these things we can't take personally. Like we were talking about last week. Some of him is me, some of it is his father, and some of it is just him. All you can do is constantly instill and try to get to them, because they're even like the Peter James. He's still young, so eventually the light bulb is going to come on. Hopefully, God please Jesus, that this is the real world. But you can't teach somebody, like I said, who has a full plate, how it feels to be starving. You could try to show them and try to like lead and direct them and stuff like that. Even with his devices, and I'm like, yo, you have a good day at school, you can get your Nintendo Switch. You don't try to let him know you have to earn things in life. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you can't expect your children to emulate or act how you do, because you have a different dynamic.
Yes.
And they do. You know what I'm saying, Quest?
Absolutely. To a certain degree, because I have not bad children. But yeah, it's not even just that. It's just like I tell people, even in life with siblings and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the same household, living the same life, eating the same foods, going to the same schools, but the way you turn out is always going to be different.
Yeah.
Your parents can instill in you 3 important things. You may take all 3 in, internalize them, 2 or 1, and your sibling may do the opposite. You just never really know. So all you can really do is just pray and hope for the best and take every moment for what it is, a moment. Period. But when it comes to that stuff, like, yeah, we see on certain TV shows that they be taking the children, like you said, like the soup kitchen and an orphanage, and some of them get it depending on their age. And like you said, you may have a selected few, like your young prince, that be like, it's sad. So we go to Texas Roadhouse after this or something, because
privilege. I'm like, yo, these kids is freaking privileged. And it's true, because they feel sorry. Like, one thing I can say, if you're hungry, he's gonna feed you, he's gonna play with you, all these type of things. He is kind to people, but he also realized that's not his reality. And that would never be like, and that's why my mom was like, well, he knows his parents. He knows you ain't gonna put him out there. You don't bust you behind this hard to have him out there. I said, but I ain't raising no grown boy. Like, that's something I ain't doing. But he knows now, like, that ain't gonna be me. We ain't gonna be hungry. My mom ain't gonna make, like, it's true, but it's certain things that you can't force on a kid to really understand. And some things I don't want them to understand. And I tell people all the time, I said, as long as my kid doesn't grow up being entitled, expecting everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. Like, I don't want them to know what it feels like to be hungry. I don't want them to ever have to struggle. I'm not busting my behind from them to bust their behind. I'm hoping that they see, okay, mommy have great work ethics. She know how to be on time. She's this and that. Take those things from me and build on that. And understand that, hey, life happens. Like, just because you up to today don't mean you could fall tomorrow. But also have a plan. Also has a cushion. I tell people, I said, money is just a cushion. Life happens to everybody. Mm-hmm. But financially, as a cushion, it just let you know the difference. Like, for instance, if you have money in account for your car, because, all right, I have money just for my car to get stuff done. Now, if I get a flat tire, I have a little bit of money to put aside so I can change my tire. Now, if I don't have money put aside to change my tire, that changed the whole scenario. So I tell people all the time, I said, money is just a cushion. So when something happens, you for how hard are you going to hit the ground? Because at the end of the day, everybody gets a flat tire. At the end of the day, something always is going to happen, because we're human beings. You're going to get sick. You might not get deathly sick, but you might get sick. You got to get off of work. Something happen to your kids. Just anything, family members, something crazy happened. Like, even with all this weather and crazy stuff, a lot of this pandemic, no one expected it. Mm-hmm. The only thing it's showing us when it comes down to our people in general is, where were you financially? What type of job did you have? Were you secure? You know what I'm saying? It makes you look at things differently. Hopefully it has, because people who have or has money or said, oh, I'm good, like, this doesn't affect them. The people who don't or was depending on working paycheck to paycheck, like some people say, now they had a different outlook.
Absolutely.
And that's what, I hope that people in general instill in their children, like, life happens. Mm-hmm. Key is, are you prepared if something happens?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, I'm just gonna remix it a little bit, because it's what I do. I believe you should never do that again. But Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I love that tone. I believe you should never do that again.
Because you just shouldn't. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my god, you're so aggy. What are you talking about?
We were talking about life happens and hopefully people are prepared.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You know how growing up when parents be like, or children be like, "Can I have this cup?" No, I ain't got it. No, I ain't got the money. No, bro, none in my purse, none in my wallet. Right now, some of us said it because they genuinely, literally didn't have it. Then you have the other ones like, "Yeah, I have it, but it's not for you to go get some Boston baked beans, lemon heads, and some ketchup chips."
Classic snacks. Go ahead, Quez.
You know, right now. Quarter juices, quarter waters. No, that money wasn't for that.
Corner store. They've got corner stores. What the heck?
You mean the bodegas? They in the middle of the street. They're a storefront now.
Hot popcorn, find anywhere like that.
All that. You know what I'm saying? So in those situations, it wasn't that they didn't actually have it, it's just they didn't have it to spend on your little snack cravings for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know our grandmother used to be like that. You know, I really ain't got it, but I'll sacrifice. And they like, oh, she lying. She had something in the bank just in case she needs it for something, but not just so much extra just to be making it rain for people. Exactly. You know, it happens all the time. Even I know some of my friends, I'll be going through things and they be asking me, technically, I don't have it to give you. But if you need it, I'll give it to you. There's the
sacrifice. You're making a sacrifice.
Exactly. It's a sacrifice. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's where when I said when it comes to the pandemic, what are you really learning from this situation? Like, are you just allowing it to take over life so you can use that as an excuse to why things are bad? Looking for a pity party? Because nowadays you ain't getting no pity party because everybody going through. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So what are you really getting out of this? First of all, you should be happy-go-lucky because you're alive. A lot of people didn't. Man. You know what I'm saying? And then like this should be opening your eyes to really appreciate and value the simple things of life, having a roof over your head, clothes on your back, family, friends, or really go harder into your businesses or your side hustles. It's all about turning the negative into a positive. Like I tell people, it may be a dim world, but I will always be the light.
Preach, girl.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I will always be the light. I will always be the light. My love will shine upon me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But what you're saying, in all honesty, is true.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to segue into the next topic I wanted to talk about. I don't want to talk about kids all the time. I talk about them and talk to them all day. This is my escape. Winnie Escape Wednesday. But it's my reality as well. Let's talk about the pandemic and everything that's going on in this world. I've been seeing a lot of posts because, it's a political year and everybody's been doing all this political talk. And even when I'm to the store, it wasn't in my town. It was just like my town right next to the, like they had some people, I'm running for this, vote for me. I'm like, well, technically you're not in my district, so my vote wouldn't count. But I'm like, that just had me thinking. And I was, listening to, the Ice Cube, his thing for the Black people. You saw that when you saw the Ice Cube thing?
I'm going to act as if I did. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but now I'll send it to you. But it's just like for things that we should demand as a people, for the government and politics, stuff like that. And they were talking about, I watched the Red Table Talk too recently, so that's why I was kind of in my head about how some people don't know how to vote and stuff like that. And I tell people all the time, but this pandemic, it should give people a lot of time to think about where they are, where they want to go, what changes they have to make so they can grow. And what I have learned personally is that it takes time. And I've been telling a lot of people, like some of you might know, I used to do financial coaching before I got into the travel. I did a lot of different things. And some of my friends come to me to do financial coaching. And I always tell people it takes time to get on a budget, to get your finances in order. It always takes time because you need to be able to see how you spend and stuff like that. And during this pandemic, I tightened up all the stuff I was doing. I was you kind of know me, I was kind of already like, but I was even tighter. just because with my type of business, it got hit directly. You know what I mean? And I thank God that I've been kind of very, tight with my money. People like, oh, you have this album, you buy this, and I'm like, nope. I'm like, I don't need that. I'm comfortable. Let me just, and I'm thank God that I was like that, because my main goal was like getting out of there, getting stuff together, because we never know what's going to happen. But it taught me that as a people, because a lot of people have been hitting me up lately, like a lot of people. And we had this discussion in private, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, you should charge people this now, or you should at least tell them giving you a gift about, you said that, or something. Well, you said I should tell people gifts are, what time is something, and they can at least always give me a gift or something like that, Cash App, for all my services for their financial.
Labor equals pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of businesses, they have consultation fees, because technically you are doing work for them, even in that conversation. It's not that you should milk everyone for every conversation. You're not like call girls, or you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you really get a lot of information, and your time is valuable.
Yeah. So when me and Quest have that.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say we have this conversation. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Continue though.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about. And one thing I realized with our community is that when they talk about education, and people are like, oh, education. No, it's very important, because I realized one thing that's holding us back as a people is education, even as simple as voting. Some people don't know, like, that you don't have to mark everything down on there. That's something I found out too. I didn't know that when I first went and did, when I first went to go vote. I didn't know that I couldn't mark. I couldn't mark stuff. So I could just went and vote for the president, and that was it. I didn't know that I could have skipped everything else. So I learned that. And also what I learned during all this type of things is that we need to focus on our community. So wherever you live, you should know what senator you have, what representative, who's your mayor, your governor, who represents you.
Who's your daddy?
Basically, because at the end of the day, if something happens to you, even us as business owners, like, this is a true story. I was, I had guys, I told you I worked part-time before the epidemic at the library and stuff like that. And then working for the library means I work for the city I live in. So that's who pays me. So they had like a city at the beginning. It was supposed to be Christmas, but they moved it to like January something. So I went, because my first year there, and I met the mayor and everybody. So they're like, "Oh, you work at the library?" And then I'm like, "Yeah." So how long you been here? Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh, well, actually, I have my business here." Well, because somebody from the chamber, which I was part of the chamber. Oh yeah, she has her business. Da da da. Oh yes, and I own my home. Oh, you have property here too? Yeah. Even though I was like the only two Black people in there, me and somebody else. But how the conversation changed when they realized I wasn't just an employee at the library, and realized, oh no, that's the owner of Witness Escapes. Oh, and I own my house is right. Oh, now they want to have a different conversation. Why? Because I'm invested in this community.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that. Even though I already knew stuff, but just watching it over and over again, how you talked to me before you knew these things, and then how you're talking to me now. And that's what I'm saying when it comes down to education for us as a people. You know what I'm saying? Now, when he sees me, it's not, oh, Whitney from the library. Oh, hi, Whitney. Now you make sure you know who I am. And other people who work there for years, he doesn't know their name, but he knows my name. You see what I'm saying? It's important for us to know that, because then when we have problems and issues, they'll be like, oh, you could say, they'll be like, oh, she doesn't live here, or she just works here. No, I'm a voting person in the community who has a business, who knows people, who has a podcast, who will talk about you behind. So, but it's important for us to know these things, because if we go in there, we're picking this person, that person, and they're not doing anything for us, that's a problem. Definitely. That's why one thing I really respect about Ice Cube is that, he was kind of, with his platform, that was beautiful to bring those things to forefront. People have done some things, and that's beautiful for everybody. But my thing, since, I'm on here and people who are listening, is I hope that we educate ourselves locally. Yeah, the president is something, but if something happens to you right now, the president ain't concerned. He's not the one who's going to the phone call. We need to know who is your mayor, who your governor, who's setting the laws for your local police department. But everything locally, they should know who you are. Just like I tell people with schools, my kids will have a different outcome if I wasn't so present in the school system.
Mm.
But they know, oh, we can't mess with Whitney's kids because she's going to show up and it's going to be a problem. And not always negativity, like I'm going to hurt the teacher, but even for my kid, like I'm very stern. Like, no, you don't come here to do anything crazy. I'm not going to beat you up or anything crazy, but I'm letting you know, oh, all your devices is going. I don't care if you football. Oh, no, you ain't go to football again. You might not go play for the rest of the season. I don't care if I pay for that money. You need to learn things. But the teachers know that. You want me to call your mother? Oh, no. They're going to act right. And if they do something wrong with my kid, I will show up, go to the principal. You know, I've been on governor's council, PTO presidents. I'm like, people don't realize the difference how people treat you when you're more involved or at least active, where they know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know who their parents are. They don't show up to anything. So for all my people who look like me, even though people don't look like me, if you're not, I really want to encourage you to be involved in your children's school, know who their teacher is, go to parent-teacher conference, whatever you can do. I know it's hard because it was hard for me. It's very difficult. But having your presence known is very important in the community. Hugely important for the Black community. They need to know who you are, know that your vote matters, not that you're just going to pick anybody because you have to. No. Ask them what they're doing for you in particular. So I don't care what's going on in the White House. What you doing for Connecticut? This is where I live. What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if something dramatic happens here, it affects me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely. I totally get it.
I'm in.
You know? No, I totally understand. Just like last year when I came back to Connecticut for my annual birthday tour and everything, and when I started working with the local government, and I was helping my friend get elected for one of the aldermans in the city and stuff. And I told him, like, I'm here for a few weeks, so I'm going to be here to help you out, whatever it is. I interviewed her on the show so I can understand exactly what she do, what they do for the city. And I respected that because it just reminded me, like, yes, Zaddy may be in charge, but it's your siblings, aunties, and uncles that's going to be the ones that have your back, which means, yes, the president is the president of the United States, but the people that represent you in your city, more importantly than your state, is the ones you need to be connected to and see what's going on, because those are the ones that actually make something happen for your everyday life.
Yes. And like you said about the alderman, explain that, because some people think, it's people above aldermen, but they do a lot of work. They help with a lot of these changes. Somebody might make the final say, but that person's constantly in their ear. So you know what alderman is? Do you know who your person is? Who's that? Even so that's something that if I don't leave anything else with you guys today, know who is your senator, your governor, the House of Representatives. Know who represents your town. Know who your alderman is. I know it's not T-Quest.
Anyways, back to me. Anyways. And the reason why we're saying this is because on average, the average human in certain cultures make an excuse for any and everything. So they won't do something,
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, a lot of them will say the same thing. Well, I feel like there's no point in saying anything because I have to go do something anyway. There's no point in getting involved. This is that. No, you're just being lazy because you feel like your voice is not going to be heard. But like I said, if you paid attention and you actually take the time out to see what's going on, do your research, and then vote for the right people, then the right people be in office in your city, and then they actually are the ones that's your voice for the bigger dogs, that they will be the one to voice it. But if you don't even get them in that position to help you out, what do you expect? Of course, the bullies gonna keep attacking you if you don't even tell your big sis and big brother that you're being bullied. It's the same thing.
That is so true, Quest. I love how you analyze people as family members, because the world is our family. Absolutely. We're each other's brothers and sisters. So what affects me affects my neighbor, affects the person down there, affects you. It's important. And even though, like you said, people might not think it is. Just knowing who they are. Make sure they know you. Stay in their face. If they say, "Oh, I'm gonna follow you," or "Here's my number," call me. Call them. Because sometimes I call some people just to call. just so my name is in front of their head. So I'm like, oh, hi, Senator so-and-so. This is Whitney. Da, da, da. I'm just calling, checking in, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I don't have no problem.
Absolutely.
But I want you to know who I am.
Absolutely.
Just so if I did have a problem, you're going to pick up. Or, you got to know things. Because like I was telling, I don't know what I was talking about, but I say this all the time. We were talking about on your podcast. I hope people watched it on Thursday. It was really great. Thank you, T-Quest, for having me on your platform. And that beautiful woman panel was a really great experience. But we were talking about, ethics and stuff. And, I used to work in finance and in banks and stuff like that. And you were asking me, hey, have you ever looked at people's accounts? Because some people do stuff like that. And I was like, no, I haven't. Because it's none of my business. Like, and I told her before, and she was shocked. Like, people had asked me, "Oh, was it ever tempting taking all that money?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a thief, so I'm not going to think about taking the bank's money. It's not my money. That's not my thought process." So the reason I'm saying that is because it's not our thought process. No one has sat down and taught us how to go vote, how to know who this is. We have to start teaching ourselves. And I saw, the reason I'm saying it because I saw him on Red Table Talk, and I thought the guy he's an NFL player. And if you guys didn't watch that episode, you should, on the Red Table. He was just saying how he sits down with his family. That's why I love when you use the analyst. And they go and talk about who to vote for. Like, they talk about who's the candidates and stuff like that. And if they don't know them, they like research them and stuff like that. That's important. To know who people are and make your presence known. We have to start retraining our minds to be better. Even like what we were talking about earlier with the kids, how this is their new norm. Let this stuff be our new norm. Mm-hmm. Let our voices really be heard.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because if we're not speaking, who is?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you leave for your next alderman for Shelton, Connecticut.
I'm good on that. I just want my people to live our lives. You know what I'm saying? We're great people. We're kind people. And that's why you got to have the conversations like, time is money, stuff like that to me. I tell them, because most people hit me up. Hey, how do you do this? How do you get that? I'm like, I give it to them for free because I feel like everybody don't got it. One. Two, I wish sometimes some people just give me some information without looking for something all the time. And I just feel like it's my due diligence. Like one of my friends was like, why do you feel like it's your job to teach, white people or somebody? I said, I'm not teaching anybody, but if somebody asks me a question and don't understand it, it is my job to enlighten them. Because now they're asking. So who am I to shut the door on somebody who doesn't understand where I'm coming from when they say, well, can you tell me where you're coming from or how can I do better? Same thing with finances. When people want to get their credit score, like I'm like, if you want to know something, I'm not going to charge you people. I'm going to just tell you what you need to do, how to get it better, how to get on a budget, whatever the case may be, because I want you to live your best life. And if you're asking me these things about credit and budgeting, therefore your finances is probably not where you want them to be, or you don't know how to manage them so they could be where you need to be. So right now, I'm not asking you to give me anything. I'm giving you free advice, and hopefully that my gift will that you be a great person to society. You give somebody else free advice so we all can eat. So that's really what's messing up the community, that there's so many things out here that we don't know about, but our sister might know, but she ain't telling. So if I tell people I have to practice what I preach, and because we tell them that all the time, it's like, you always giving away stuff. I'm like, because she do the same thing. So don't be acting like just because you telling me I need to go put my cash app out. I'm like, you ain't putting your cash app out there, because we're generally giving people. We really want people to strive in this world. And that's probably why we don't really go hungry, because when you're kind to people and you do right, God is always going to make sure you good. Life happens to all of us. None of us perfect. Nobody billionaires. Eventually, hopefully, one day we probably this earth I'll be a billionaire or a millionaire or something,
Trillion,
yes. We continue to prosper. But what we need to learn is that we have to come together locally, then, nationally and stuff like that. But if we're not even here locally, helping one another out, because people who are successful, that's what they do with one another.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They have their board.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of coming together, aren't we coming together next month? Exactly 1 month away on November 7th.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, T-Quest. You're such like a jewel because you're the light that shines.
Shine bright like a diamond. Or a heart.
But yes, Whitney Escapes is going. Whitney Escapes annual women's retreat. You see how to like think about it? Is going virtually this year because of everything that's going on with this pandemic. And then, women hit me up and concerned, because now there's about to be flu season, cold season, and this will be the first season that we go through, and the number are already spiking. So to keep the momentum and keep the drive, to keep the coming togetherness, we decided we're going to do it virtually this year. So it will be November 7th still. It will just be a one-day event. We still will have vendors. We still going to have our beautiful host, Quest. We're still going to have our wonderful panel. We're still going to have giveaways. It will just be everything virtually. So please hit us up on WhitneyEscapes.com. Hit me up on all your social media platforms for any further information. Thank you, Jesus. Or you can email me at travel@witnessescapes.com for more information. But we have information on our flyers. We'll have it out all the time. Probably every day I probably repost the same type of thing. Just so it can be in your head so that you can remember to do it. It's gonna be a phenomenal time. We're still gonna have a DJ, even though it's gonna be virtually. I'm like, just having fun, bonding with my fellow sisters, the community, just growing, encouraging one another, inspiring one another so that we can be better people and educating one another. That's what it's all about. We can't expect to grow if we're not willing to educate one another and help each other out. Everything doesn't have to always be a financial gain, but it could be a gain in just as a new friendship, a new relationships, growth. I share with you, you share with me, so that we both can always have a full plate and don't know what it feels like to be hungry again, because I know what it feels like to be hungry. But don't ever, it has been a long time. But thank the Lord that, I don't have to do that now. It's called growth and blessings, because I know I'm no better than anybody else. I just thank God every day for my life, because at the end of the day, during this time, we have lost several people. And like I read a post the other day when somebody said, "Is it weird that I'm numb to this?" And then you said it, I said it, and it's like, no, like honestly, I was said on your thing. I don't know when the last time I actually literally cried or really mourned, and I have people close to me, very, very close and dear to me, leave this world during this time. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. But we're all human and we're all going through things. No one's is above the other person. All we can do is really try to, be positive. Try not to spread negative energy, support one another, even by subscribing to the YouTube channels, like at Whitney Escapes LLC, giving that thumbs up. Like that would be supportive. People interviewing or whatever the case may be. If somebody has a product or whatever, like in somebody's page, it's not that hard. And I tell people, I like yours even if you don't like mine. It's like, I can't say I expect something for some people and don't do it myself. You see? That's why you're the light that shines.
Shine bright.
Oh my God, guys, we're about to wrap this up soon, but I want T-Quest to let you know, aren't you doing another interview tonight?
I'm always doing interviews because this is what I do. I like to tap into people's stories, whether it's you having as an artist have a new song out or something, or if you're a business and you just want people to know about your business, or just someone who just needs a platform just to let loose and just let it woosah. You don't have nobody to talk to. Like, I am here for you. You know what I'm saying? And all you gotta do is contact me. And you can use the platform as long as it's relatable, informative, and yet entertaining. Then we can definitely put it on the T-Quest show. You know what I'm saying? But it's always been a pleasure, and just want to say continue to support myself as well as Whitney on Wednesdays. What?
Whitney, everybody.
We're here each and every Wednesday night, and let's just have fun, be positive, And no, yes, labor equals pay, but everything you don't have to put a dollar sign on. But if someone's really being there for you and you truly value them in their work, even their words, it is not that hard to just bless them. Even if it was like, you know what? Here's some money in your Cash App. Go treat yourself to lunch on me.
Yeah, $5. That goes a long way. You get a burger.
Simple things like that, and if people don't support you, it's not mean that they're not there for you. Sometimes people secretly are going through some things. Just because you see them with a bag or a whip or something, they may have a whip and ain't got no gas. And it's not because they're over here spending crazy. Like, you don't know someone's story, so stop judging people.
Please stop. And you know what I realized too, because I'm glad you said that. Because when I've been helping a couple of people, not one, not two, multiple people, they go, I'm going to get my credit, da-da-da. You know what their number one issue was? Not enough money.
Oh.
They don't even have debt. I had to encourage them and let them know is that your credit score doesn't affect you in a negative way because you don't have any credit. You can still buy a house if you choose to. The only thing is your problem is you don't have enough income. So a lot of people look at that number like, oh, I only have 6 something, but you have no debt. You can still get you a house if your income start coming. If you lived out work somewhere for 2 years and have a consistent income paying rent, and you can prove, like I've been paying $1,200 a month for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I pay my car note if you have that too, and your cell phone bill, and you give that to the bank. You can get approved for a loan. Just because your credit score says something doesn't mean you can't afford a home. They just want to make sure that you can afford it. So don't go out here getting debt. That's a jewel for you for free. Free jewels. There you go. Just know that, as a people, there's so many ways that we can get up and do better that we just really educate one another. But you know what, guys? I love you guys always. Please come support. Please check out, Women's Retreat. It is $25. Not that much money, ladies. And for gentlemen, if you have female folks, sponsor them. Sponsor them to come. It's going to be a wonderful experience, a way to brand, grow. And I'm just excited about it. And I just want to say thank you. Yes, thank you, everybody who tunes in every week and support me. My videos will be up on YouTube. I was having technical difficulties. Don't know why, but I figured it out. So sometimes I have to re-upload some videos because I realized some of them wasn't there. But thank you for being patient with me and constantly supporting me just by tuning in. Thank you again, T-Quest, because you're always a light.
Yeah.
And please check out her show tonight. I believe she's going live again, right?
Yeah, few minutes, son.
She's going live again at 7. So, guys, go have a snack and a potty break. Same thing I would say to my kids. And then come back and check out her show because she is a phenomenal host and she has some great guests on there tonight. I believe is another artist. So check him out and maybe you can support him. Support just by listening. That's all we need in this world is a little. All we need is love.
All we need is love, baby.
Yes, but until next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Whitney Escapes Wednesdays. Check us out on all our platforms. You should know by now. Just Google Whitney's Escapes. I'll pop up. IG, Facebook, my what am I talking about? www.whitneysescapes.com. What is that? My website. See, I couldn't get it. Website. You go to YouTube. That's it right there on the screen. Miss T-Quest, just download her mobile app. T-Quest. You see her face on there. So all her stuff is on there. It's easy access, guys, and it's free. Everything we're telling you to do today, besides the Women's Retreat, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Just subscribe and like and follow. So if you're enjoying us, let us know. And if you're not, let us know. We're not too above for teaking. I think we're pretty awesome. What you think, Quest?
I actually think I'm amazing. How
do you not love that face? Because she's amazing.
Amazing.
And until next time, guys, please check out T-Quest show right after this. For real, take a potty break. Use the bathroom, fix yourself a little snack, come right back on here and watch her do her next interview. And like she said, if you want to have an interview, if you know somebody who will benefit from this, hit her up. Her Cash App on the bottom, anyways, too. So
yep, that makes you skip the line a little bit.
When you did that, your whole hair turned pink, which is funny.
Yeah.
It was light, so it made it pink.
Hey!
Until next time, have a great rest of the week, guys, because it is Whitney's Escapes Wednesday. Bye!